Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming to a historical moment for Albert Einstein Academies. This is the very first band concert for our new music program. So first, I'd like to start off by thanking you for all of your support and driving all these students back and forth to the rehearsals and all that stuff. So thank you for making this happen. So basically tonight we're gonna take you on a journey. We're gonna go back to our first couple weeks, and we're gonna show you where we started, and by the end of the performance we're gonna show you where we are now. So the first thing that we're gonna play for you is, this is something that you might have heard if you came to one of our very first rehearsals when the students were just getting the instruments out of the cases. This is something that you might have heard. I think that's their favorite part of this concert, pretty much. But so after a lot of hard work in developing some of the muscles that we use, which is called our embouchure, the muscles in our face that we use for these wind instruments to create our sound, after a lot of practice and hard work in developing those muscles, we were able to refine that sound to sound like something like this. So the method book that we used to go out of this year is called Standard of Excellence. You guys might have seen this, okay? And this takes the students through a progression that really makes sense. Starts them out with a note that's called a whole note, which, if you know anything about music, it is a 4-beat note. It takes up an entire measure of music, and it is a long sustained note. So that's one of the first things we learn when we learn to read music. And so this first piece we're going to play for you consists only of whole notes. Hey Ben, quick show of hands. How many of you, this is your first time ever playing that particular instrument this year? That was the first, you're a total beginner on that instrument. Nice. And then, a quick show of hands, how many of you guys have played for a year or more before this year? How many of you? Nice, okay, so, yeah, right on guys. So we've got a good mix of ability levels here. So that first piece used the whole notes. This next piece is going to consist only of whole notes. But once we've mastered that, we start learning to change notes and we start learning the different pitches. And the first 3 notes that we usually learn are do, re, and mi. So this next piece that we're going to play for you consists only of whole notes, but it's going to change pitches between 3 different notes. Okay, so once we've mastered the whole note, and we've mastered those 3 notes, we we move on to another type of note called a half note, which is now only 2 beats long, so it's a little bit faster. And with this, we're able to make a little bit more complicated music. So the next piece that we're going to play for you is called Cardiff by the Sea. This song features half notes with those same 3 pitches as the last song. Okay, so once we've mastered those things, the next step in our music is to add in what's called harmony. Harmony is when you have more than one note playing at the same time, and it gives kind of a pleasing sound, or it could give a displeasing sound depending on the note that you pick. But right now we're going for pleasing harmonies. This next song that we're going to play for you is called Two for the Show, and this song is going to feature some harmony in it. So take a listen for the harmony when it comes up. The next piece we're going to play for you is the most standard of all standard songs. This is a rite of passage in band to be able to play this song. We've all learned it. Some of us have learned it on another instrument called the recorder. This is one of the first songs you learn, and it's totally a rite of passage when you can play the song in band. The next song is Hot Cross Buns. So the first couple songs we learned in the book are, like I said, are mainly working with 3 notes. And if you know solfege, it would be do, re, and mi. So the next thing that we learn is to extend our range on the instrument and learn some notes outside of that so that we're able to play some more complicated melodies. So the next 2 pieces that we're going to play for you are going to feature the next 2 notes in the scale. So if you're going with solfege, do, re, mi, this would be fa and sol will be the next 2 notes in our scale. The next 2 songs are Easy Street and Getting It Together. So we're going to take a minute to show you guys the different instruments that we have in the band. And we're going to start by introducing the flute section. So flutes, go ahead and stand up. Show those instruments off so we can see that. Yeah. So the flute is a member of the woodwind family, and so it uses wind to make the sound of the instrument. And if you can see on the end of the flute, there's a hole that you would blow across, and that's how you make the sound of it. These are called woodwind instruments because a long time ago they would have been made out of wood, but now we make them out of different types of metal, brass, silver, and there's even golden flutes. So we're going to play a song so you can hear just the flutes. The next instrument we're going to introduce to you is the clarinet. So clarinets, go ahead and stand up. The clarinet is also a member of the woodwind family. These typically are still made out of wood, and they use something called a reed. So go ahead and turn those around so we can see the reed. On the end of the instrument, there's a little piece, it's almost like a piece of bamboo, and that's what we blow across to get the sound on a clarinet. So we're going to play a song for you that just features the clarinets. Right along. The next instrument we're going to show you is the alto saxophone. So go ahead, altos, stand up. And we've also got tenor saxophones. So tenor saxophones, go ahead and stand up. So the alto saxophone and the tenor saxophone are both members of the woodwind family. Although they're made out of brass, they also use a reed, much like the clarinet, to get the sound out. So go ahead, you guys can turn around so we can see the mouthpiece and the reed on those. Yeah. So the alto saxophone is pitched in the key of E flat, and the tenor saxophone is pitched in the key of B flat. So the tenor saxophone is a little bit lower and has a lower range, and the alto saxophone has a higher range. The first saxophone that was actually ever invented was the bass saxophone, which we hardly ever see anymore, but it was actually twice as big as the tenor saxophone. So we're going to feature the saxes and play a tune that is only for saxophones. Okay, trumpet players, go ahead and stand up. So our next instrument is the trumpet. The trumpet is a member of the brass family, and the brass family is a little bit different than the woodwinds. To make a sound on this, we have to make a buzzing sound with our lips. So trumpets, take your mouthpiece off and just give us a demonstration of what it sounds like to buzz into your mouthpiece. Go ahead and do that. So once you put that into the instrument, the instrument all of a sudden becomes an amplifier for just that little tiny sound of the mouthpiece. And you get a beautiful sound that sounds something like this. We're now going to introduce you to our low brass, which is going to be our trombones and our baritone. So the baritone works a lot like a trumpet. It has keys on it that you would play. Still, you're going to buzz your lips in it to get a sound. You guys want to take your mouthpieces off and buzz to see what it sounds like on a bigger mouthpiece? Go ahead. So as you can hear, it's a little bit lower. The trombone's a very unique instrument because it uses a slide. So go ahead, show that slide off, guys, to see how that works. Yeah, so they change notes by sliding that around. So we're going to feature them on it too. And there is one instrument that I did forget, which is the bass clarinet. Natalie, go ahead and stand up and show them the bass clarinet. I won't make you play by yourself, but go ahead. So, the bass clarinet is same thing as a clarinet, but it is pitched in the key of B flat, and it's going to be a whole octave lower than the regular clarinets that we have in here. So the next section that I want to introduce you guys is the percussion section, and this is a really special group of kids because the piece that they're going to play for you is something that they actually composed themselves. It was during a lunch practice that somebody was playing something on a desk, and I thought, wow, that sounds pretty cool. Like, let's keep going with that. So we shot some ideas around, and we ended up coming up with a piece, a drum cadence. I wrote it out for sheet music, and we've got this piece that was written by our percussion section. So they're going to play that for you. So it's pretty cool to hear all the instruments kind of by themselves, and then we're going to put them all back together now, and we're going to play a song called Crusaders March with everybody all back together, and we can really hear a nice blend of all these instruments together. This next tune is this is the second rite of passage in band. Once you can play Hot Cross Buns, this is the second one. This is a huge turning point in your playing when you can play this next song. So once we've worked our way through the first few pages of the book, we're ready to start getting real sheet music, real pieces of full band arrangements with different harmonies and different parts and different sections to them. So the next piece we're going to play for you is titled Beethoven's Ninth, and it takes the melody from Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, the Ode to Joy melody, and it creates a wonderful arrangement of that. So the next tune we're going to play for you is called Beethoven's Ninth. The next piece we're going to do is probably, I think, it's my favorite one out of them, and I think it's probably most of your guys' favorite one to play out of this. The next tune is called The Argonauts. I'm going to read a little bit from the program notes about this song. So it says, according to Greek mythology, a 50-oared ship named Argo sailed on an epic voyage of adventure in quest of a golden fleece. A long list of ancient Greek heroes made up the crew of the Argo. Collectively, they were called the Argonauts. They proceeded to earn a place of great honor in mythology, and in ancient times, it was a mark of distinction to be able to claim that an ancestor had sailed with the Argonauts. So, without further ado, this is The Argonauts by Mike Hannicle. So before we play our last piece for you, I wanted to take some time to give some accolades to some of the students who have done an awesome job this year. And since we're at an IB school, I thought it would be appropriate that we give out awards for people that kind of embody certain parts of the learner profile. So when I call your name, come on up and get your certificate. First one is the Thinker Award. This is somebody who is a problem solver. Anytime we need help setting up the room, setting up chairs, stands, things like that, this person is always on it and always able to come up with a way that we can work around any kind of problems that we're having. And this one goes to Evan Jail. The next one is for knowledgeable. This person is always quick to answer a question, always has a good answer, and is always just really using their musical knowledge that they've learned from in the past and applying it to band. So this one goes to Audrey Lewis for knowledgeable. The next one is for Inquirer. This is somebody who has been curious the entire year and has actually ended up playing 3 different instruments throughout the year because of their curiosity. But their curiosity has led them into a positive direction, and I'm really glad that they have found an instrument that they like. And this one goes to Jose Luis Murillo. Okay, the next award is for Communicator. This one goes to somebody who is just really good at speaking their mind and getting what's on their mind across in a really positive way that is kind of beneficial to everybody in the band, and often has really good ideas to communicate. This one goes to Marina Schiess. The next one is for Principal. This is somebody who comes to every rehearsal prepared, they've practiced, they know their parts. They're very good at seeing what their weaknesses are and improving on them for the next time. So the Principal Award goes to Ezra James. Okay, the next one is for Open-Minded. Now, I said that the percussion section, they wrote that one piece that they did, and when we were doing that, we had a lot of ideas that were going around, and it wasn't easy to kind of narrow them down into one thing. So it took a lot of open-mindedness, but this person gave a lot of good ideas and also accepted the ideas of the other students and kind of took those ideas and shaped them into a way that was really beneficial to the development of that piece that we came up with. So the Open Minded Award goes to Sydney Hegler. The next award is for Caring. This is somebody who just really helped out a lot after rehearsals and stuff. This person helped to put away chairs and stands. I mean, on top of that, they were just really caring to the other students in their section and really helpful to some of the younger students. And the Caring Award goes to Mitra Marchuk. The next award is for Risk Taker. This is somebody who just started dabbling with jazz this year. And if you know anything about jazz music, it requires some improvisation and things like that. And this is somebody who's really going out on a limb and taking a lot of different opportunities to play. Any opportunity that he has to perform and try anything out, he's always down to do it. And he's actually going to be playing the national anthem for the 8th grade graduation. So the Risk Taker Award goes to Isaac Gardner. The next award is for Balanced. Okay, this is somebody that I know does a ton of activities outside of school and still makes time for band and still shows up with a smile on their face, ready to play. I think, if I'm getting this right, this person does gymnastics, takes piano lessons. Anna, what else do you do? Come on up. This one goes to Anna Tung, the Balanced Award. And the last award I have to give out is for Reflective. And this goes to somebody who, when we would have lessons during lunch, this person really, you could see them really thinking about the way that they played something and how they could make it better in the moment. While they were playing through something, I could see it in their eyes that they were already critiquing and reflecting on how they could play it better the next time. And we made some really great progress in those lessons, and this Reflective Award goes to L'Oreal Dennis. Okay, so we're going to play our last concert band tune for you. This one is a mashup of 2 different songs by the band Queen, which has been a very popular band this year, especially since that movie came out. So this next song is going to feature 2 Queen songs in it. I'll let you figure out which ones they are. It's called Power Rock. Okay, so to round out the evening, we're going to finish up with 2 songs by our stage band. And this is going to feature a couple members of the concert band, but it's also going to feature Santiago Osorio, who's going to be playing guitar with him. And so these guys have been focusing on, we've mostly been doing a style of music that is referred to as jazz fusion, which is kind of a combination between jazz and rock music. So when you're playing any kind of jazz music, it requires some improvisation where people are making up their melodies and solos on the spot. So you're going to hear Isaac and Santiago both take some solos where they're making everything up off the top of their head. So this is really impressive. So we're going to play 2 songs for you. The first one is by a guy named Joe Zawinul from a band called Weather Report. This song was made famous by a saxophone player named Cannonball Adderley. And this is Mercy, Mercy, Mercy. The next tune they're going to play for you is called Chameleon. This is a tune by Herbie Hancock, and it is a pretty fun one to play. I think you guys can agree. Yeah, so the next tune is Chameleon. Wolfgang Warshaw on the drums. We had Aiden Fuentes on the bass. We had Santiago Osorio on the guitar. We had Isaac Gardner on the saxophone. So, thank you guys for coming out tonight. And there's a couple people I want to say thank you to. First off, Alan Schuler, I want to say thank you for making this happen and allowing and kind of making us able to use this space. But I also want to thank San Diego Civic Dance Arts for allowing us to use this space. Okay? And once again, thank you to all of you guys for supporting music education. And thank you for being here for this historical moment, the first band concert in the Albert Einstein Academy history. So at this time, I'm going to ask the students to go ahead and start packing your instruments up. And if you guys want to hang out, it looks like we've got some food that some people brought and some drinks. So we can hang out up here in the front. And once students have their instruments packed up, they'll come down and meet up with you. Thank you for coming. I did forget to mention two people who were a huge help this year with this band program. You might have saw some of the taller guys that were playing along with the band. Mitchum Yakub, who was our percussion coach, and Griffin Baldrell, who was our woodwind and brass coach. If you'd like to meet them, we'll be down here hanging out after the show. But they were a huge help with getting this band program off the ground.
Today he comes up to come on, bro. How about a bear? He's just learning.
Mom!
You're awesome.
How did you check this?
You guys are awesome. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations.